Hey beauties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well and you're enjoying the never-ending month of January. I feel like we've reached already week 4, but yet we're only midway into January. A little thing to cheer you up. I have received my order from Patrickta. I have the 4 new blushes to review with you guys. So in today's video, I'm going to review them, compare them, and swatch them. So these blush are brand new. They came out only a few days ago and I was really quick to place my order. If you are in the UK, you can order either from Patrickta's website directly or called Beauty. If you are in the US, you can equally order from Patrickta's website or order at Sephora for delivery. There are new 4 shades and I have to say I'm equally surprised with some of the shades, and I think I was expecting something else as well. Let me explain. The 4 shades of Patrickta has the same formula for the blushes. So the formula is not new, the shades are. And if we are looking at the color scheme in total, it's always close to a neutral color. So many declination of colors, but you will have a berry, but it's more neutral, a lot of muted color. You have a bright pink that I absolutely love. But otherwise, the shades are most of the time very neutral. You have some very dark and some lighter shade. However, in this new collection, one of the shade is the red, and oh my god, I couldn't believe it how pretty it is. And a lot of brands are coming out with bright red blushes, which is, in my opinion, amazing because it's such a beautiful color. If you go with a very light hand, it's going to give you such a healthy flush of color, just a beautiful look. Now back to Patrickta. I think on the other side, I was expecting maybe a lilac or kind of a muted purple-ish, because we have purple and lilac in pretty much all the other brands and just not with Patrickta. So I think that's my only disappointment. I would have liked to have something a little bit more, trendy and lilac and very the it color of the moment. So these 4 shades are not limited edition. However, they do go and sell really quick. So that's why I just picked up the 4 shades anyway, because the last time new shades came out, I was so disappointed because first of all, they were just not available in the UK and they were just all sold out. So I didn't waste any time for this time around. The blush are called Double Take Cream and Powder Blush. You have She Left Me on Red, She's Seductive, She Knows Who She Is, and She Goes to the Gym. So today I am wearing the shade She Knows Who She Is, and it is the darkest shade of all. So this is just to show you guys that even if a shade looks really dark, it doesn't really matter if your skin is quite fair. I mean, to a certain extreme, if you go with a very light hand, you can actually make it work on your skin. If you really like the shade, just don't be shy, try it and play with it. And to apply the blushes, because in the package you have a powder and a cream blush, you can create 3 different type of looks. If you want to have just your normal powder blush, you go with just the powder. If you just want to have a sheer color, just apply the cream blush. And I usually apply it with my beauty blender. I just think it goes on really well. It's very easy to apply. However, if you want to have something a little bit more saturated and have that dewiness, that really glowy blush like I have today, you start with the powder and then you add the cream on top of it. I know it's against everything that we've been taught in makeup, that you never apply a cream on top of your powder, but in this case, the formula is made for you to be applying the cream on top of the powder. It's not going to be patchy. Obviously, do not rub and because you're going to disturb all the product under anyway. You're going to move the foundation and your concealer and so on, but you go with tapping motion and you will have that beautiful, healthy, saturated color blush that is, in my opinion, one of the best formula if you want to have that very saturated blush, that it just makes your blush alive. I have to say also, the powder blush itself is very blurring. So if you choose to only apply the powder blush because you don't feel like having that extra layer of glow, it will blur the pores. So the color payoff is extremely good and it will beautify your skin, and it really blurs, and the color, the payoff, as I mentioned, is beautiful. So now for the shades, so it standard comes into that rose gold package that is very pretty, but once you've put your finger on it, you have finger traces all over. But it looks very luxurious, and that's always the same package that we have. In the package, so you have your powder blush on one side, your cream blush here on the top, and you do have a little protector plastic flap to protect your blush so you don't have powder going into the blush, and equally your cream powder is not going to dry out. Shall we start swatching some shades? I'm just amazed by how beautiful this collection is. I have to say though, all the shades are very neutral. So if you're looking for, the idea is obviously to reach the bigger number of people. It doesn't matter if you have a very warm or cool undertone, because these are neutral, they will fit for everyone. So let's start with the shade She Goes to the Gym. So this is the shade. It is beautiful. So it is kind of a rose mauve, very neutral, just a beautiful, easy to wear color. So the powder, I'm going to swatch it on my hand so you guys can see. Usually the powder is where you have the most of your pigment in here. See how buildable this powder is. It is gorgeous. So it's completely blurring my hand. It's a matte blush, obviously, but it is very luminous no matter what. And the cream blush. Quite pigmented as well, but once you apply it and it kind of melts onto your skin, the oil in the blush will diffuse and it gets a little bit more sheer than anything else. So this is shade She Goes to the Gym. So again, this is kind of your easy everyday blush. It's a rose mauve, very neutral shade. Obviously I have put a lot on my hand so to saturate the color, but you can just put a very light sheer of blush and it's going to give you just a pop of color. The second shade that I'm going to swatch is the one called She's Seductive. So this is the shade. A very neutral color. This is a blush that really just fits everyone. It's just a neutral beige. It's a pink beigey shade. It is such a staple to have in your makeup kit. You can obviously use the powder blush as an eyeshadow. It is a beautiful color. It's super highly pigmented, as I was mentioning before. Just a beautiful neutral pink beige shade. So the powder blush, gorgeous shade. Again, super highly pigmented. Even the powder blush feels creamy. So it's not going to be patchy, super easy to apply. I usually use my Patrick Tujol and brush, or this brush for face, and just use this this one for the powder blush that has an angle because it's very easy to apply. And then the other tip for the cream, just kind of go a little bit more broad over it. And now the cream, a little bit more sheer. You could actually wear this one as a lipstick too. Pretty much any cream blush from Patrick Ta, you can wear them as a lipstick. So this is the shade. Again, she's Seductive. Just very easy everyday blush that really fits for everyone. And this is very sheer, so you can create some beautiful daytime look. Now for the third shade that I'm actually wearing on today in my makeup. It's called She Knows Who She Is. So this is more of a burgundy plum blush, still very neutral, but a little bit more pigmented. So if you have a very dark skin, this is going to be looking beautiful on you, but equally if you have a light medium skin like mine, you can always make it work. I have to say though, if you have a very fair skin, you're gonna have to be very light-handed because it is just a highly saturated color. But these shades looked so good on every model that I just had to pick all 4 of them and to show you guys as well. So the powder blush, super pigmented, but look how luminous it is. It is just, and it's so blurring. Luminous and blurring. I don't think there's anything else that you want from a blush. Easy to apply. It's kind of a foolproof, beginner proof product as long as you apply small bit by bit. Don't go with a super big brush and go all over because you will end up with a massive big blob of color. Take a smaller brush, just tap your blush and you'll be fine. And the cream. I think the advantage with the cream blush, this type of cream blush, is it's quite sheer. So if you apply just a little quantity, it's just going to give you that flush of color, but have that very nice glow to it. If you want to skip the highlighter, this is a very good alternative. It's very close to Natasha Denona, the trio highlighter and blushes. So this is She Knows Who She Is. And the fourth shade, and I think honestly it's my favorite one. I haven't tried it yet, but I think just by the look, it is my favorite one. It is called She Left Me on Red. And look at this shade. I mean, it doesn't get more red than this. This as a lipstick, oh my god, like I would actually wear this cream blush as a lipstick. So let me swatch it for you. How beautiful is this? It's very similar to the Chanel cream to powder blush, the Rouge Profond. If I'm not mistaken, I'll actually pick it up for you guys. Actually, it's called Rouge Franc. And just to compare, so this has more orange into it. So probably a little bit more wearable on a daily basis. But again, they are all declination of a bright red blush. But this is the newest shade of the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. This is very close to the cream blush. I'll swatch them so you guys can compare. So the cream blush, super sheer because obviously you just want to add a glow. So here, but now I'm going to add next to it the Giorgio Armani, because pretty much all the brands are going with that super bright blush. So look at this. So this is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk blush, and it's shade Flamingo Red. It's only written number 41, but it is the latest shade. It is very close. It has a little bit more blue, so it's a little bit more cool. than the Patricta, but very, very close. Obviously, you wouldn't put that much on your face, but it is just to compare. And it is extremely close to this. So pretty much all the brand are going for that kind of blush. And if I put the Chanel now, you'll see how much more orange it is. It's still a red blush, but has more brown into it. That gives the illusion that it's much more brown and orange here. So again, so this is the Patricta and this is the Giorgio Armani, and this one is Chanel. And if I compare the other shade in the new one, so she's Seductive, that is extremely close to not too much. So just, this one has a little bit more beige brown into it, whereas this is a little bit more beige pink. It really just depends what you're looking for. But the result will be very, very close. So this is even lighter, so even softer on the cheek, whereas the new one, she's Seductive, has a little bit more pigment, is a little bit more of a pink brown, whereas this is very much a beige blush. I hope you found today's video to be somewhat helpful and informative. If you do have any questions, leave them down below in the comments and I'll make sure to reply to you as soon as I can. So if you're new here, thanks for watching. I do post 3 times a week and reviewing all new makeup products. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. So as usual, I will list down below in the description box the makeup that I am wearing today and the link to purchase those new blush from Patricta. If you've liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here. And a big thanks for watching. See you next time, guys.